Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Became Banned Fox's Sin of Greed movie. Before we start, please go support KingCrownedClown for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. I realize that what he said is true. I always distrust everyone. Sometimes by doing what's best for everyone, one ends up paying for everything. That's why I don't trust humans, much less other races. Find out what my story was like. Now I am Issei are now banned as Sin. Sin is born. How trust can be broken in this moment. How many adventures, many memories, and so many experiences together can mean so little. That's what I ask myself as I bleed out and begin to faint. How could this happen? The war hero being reduced to scum. According to what they call me. The vile traitorous vermin. Hag, this is boring. I was saying my last words and just said them while spitting blood. I finished saying while closing my eyes. Hey you. Who's calling me? He said breathlessly. They know me as. Flashback a long time ago. The leaders of each faction and we the DXD group joined in combat and fought against the Chaos Brigade. We were able to defeat the god Indra. Bali got his revenge on his grandfather. He and I fought without our armor and still managed to defeat his weapon against us. Bali delivered the final blow, taking his life at that moment. Without him and the other Chaos Brigade leaders, we managed to dismantle every last one. Thus we managed to thwart his plan, which was to undo the seal that contained the worst of all beasts. He was the one who would destroy the entire world. Some know him as the dragon of the apocalypse, nicknamed the Trihexa. We prevented that beast from coming out and claiming many lives. So time passed. Rias and Akeno finished their studies at Kuo Academy. Now they start university. For my part, these months have flown by. Many things have happened. I don't think I could ask for anything other than this as I fix my gaze on a photo of all of us. End of POV. After a few days. An acquaintance of Rias arrived. His name was Yun. They were good childhood friends. I didn't worry because one night I saw him trying to seduce Gasper. He met the leaders and they became good friends. The worst came later. He earned a lot of respect since it was known that he was the one who eradicated Klypo. So time passed and I noticed how day by day the girls gradually moved away. When the leaders held meetings and excluded me. I even noticed that Drake never supported me. Something strange was happening, nobody was telling me anything and I didn't like it at all. A few days passed and it was time to talk about my commitments with Rias, Akeno, Asia, Xenovia, Irina, Kaneko, Kuroka, Lefei, Ravel and Rossweisse. I still wonder how I got so lucky with them. Even if they don't spend much time with me, I still love them despite everything. From everything I've earned from Up-Eye Dragon I can buy anything. Today Saturday I left early. I noticed that none of them spent the night here, but I remembered that they said they were going to the underworld. I took advantage of a better time and went to a jewelry store. The best one in Kuo. The owner of the place was surprised by my order. 10 engagement rings. I bought according to the girls' tastes. When I left, the man thanked me because it had been the best sale of his life. I smiled and said. No, thanks to you. But this I will make many people happy. He smiled and gave me a gift. A pendant of a dragon and a dragoness together. Whoever the lucky one is, give this to her. I thanked him and left the place very happy on my way home. When I arrived I saw the leaders together. I smiled at them because I was going to tell them my little secret which I had planned for tonight. Since today symbolizes the day I would officially propose to the girls. I already had permission from the parents of Rias and Ravel, Barakiel, Griselda, Gondel, he cried when I asked him. I thought I could use some help from all of them. When I was going to greet them I felt a hostile aura directed towards me. What's happening? I couldn't say anything else because the leaders gathered around me and immobilized me. I couldn't do or say anything. I had no choice but to fight and find out why they did this to me. I tried to summon the dragon glove, but it was useless. What's up, Drag? But he didn't answer. At that moment I felt my side being pierced. I looked and it was Auden who stuck his spear in me. Hag. Why? I said with much pain. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me with hatred like everyone else. Time seemed endless to me for what happened to me after he stabbed me. It was worse than hell itself. All my friends were attacking me mercilessly. When I saw them stop, I fell to the ground, motionless. I looked up and saw Ria's friend laughing with satisfaction. Why do they do this to me? I didn't do anything. At that the Mayu kicked me, throwing me far away from the house. As I stepped outside I crawled and tried to get away. My gaze fell on a certain group. Rias, I said looking into her eyes. What I saw was the same as with the others. I saw the other girls behind her with the same face. Because. At that moment Rias charged destructive power in his right hand. What he did next was pierce my chest. It was beginning to fade. I heard everyone making fun of me. I just thought and said. Why did they do this to me? I saw Volley approaching. I thought he would shake my hand. I stretched out my hand thinking that. But what he did was put something on my arm where Drake resided. Feeling how all my power was being drained away, I felt a lot of pain from the depths of my soul. I entered my mind and saw Drake as if nothing had happened. He just said goodbye. I snapped out of my headspace and saw everyone standing around me laughing. I was beginning to close my eyes. The last thing I saw was Michelle giving him the boosted gear and he laughed like them. Zerzic said a few words. Since you dishonored the faction by being with the Chaos Brigade, we decided to remove Drake from you. Do you agree, Welsh Dragon? I am. What better than to be with that rat, he said, referring to me. We also decided that their marriages will be dissolved. Do you agree, girls? I heard them claiming that yes. Very good. I do say, everything he has done has already been reported to all factions. The Yokai faction claims that he is no longer welcome in their territory. The Op-I Dragon was cancelled. People hate him now and are aware of this. So he can die in peace, X-Piler and security. It was a mistake to trust you. Now Yun will do what you never did, right? Everyone turns around and leaves. The girls see me and say. How could I love you? You were just trash. How I let you touch me. How could I revive you? I regret everything, said Rias, looking at me with hatred. Everyone left. Yun came closer and whispered. Hi, do Issei to eyes. The Chaos Brigade will fulfill its mission now that you're gone, he said that without Drake hearing. Everyone believed him, even though he was unknown, someone who demonstrated so much. Ahahaha. Yun left and I was left lying there while I bled out. End of flashback. I am Ban the Bandit. I'm still right not to trust anyone. I was beginning to fade away. Hey you, it's not time to die yet. This being said. While looking at him. You want to live. Nuo. You're funny. You prefer that. What reasons do I have to live? Don't know. You could find out for yourself. Smile and said. What do I have to do? You'll see. He said as his face was revealed and he looked at me. The fox. And the bandit, what a strange name. Issei said as he lay dying. He laughed and said. Issei is weird too. What do I have to do? You'll know soon enough, but for now I'll get you back on your feet. You're dying and about to lose consciousness. Look, having your chest pierced, it looks awful, Ban said in his mind. Issei only thinks about how Rias and the others were able to do that to him and even more, how Yun managed to convince everyone that he was a traitor and that he would be the best security. Add in that Drake betrayed him and that all the children, who admired him, now hate him. The saddest thing of all is that his friends turned their backs on him and he saw Zerzic showing him how right now in the underworld they were burning his statue. The children were throwing away their action figures of him. It's sad to know that people can change overnight. Issei cried. The people who claim to adore him and love him as a hero have turned their backs on him. Even more so than the people he protected and loved with all his being. Now they've tried to kill him. That's why I don't trust humans and other races. Now you see the meaning of those words I mentioned to you a while ago. After a few minutes. Issei felt recovered. What did you do? I managed to transfer a little of my immortality to you. Thank you, said Issei. It's too early for you to thank me, boy. Then I owe you a favor. That's how it is. I will. Like you said. There are things I must find out for myself. So I will do whatever you ask. He smiled and said. There is a transmigrant of soul in this world. I want you to find that person. I'll take care of the rest. Suddenly Issei began to feel strange. What's wrong with me? I transferring my immortality to you. I implant my blood in you, what is happening to you is that you will soon take on my appearance. I'm sorry. No joke. Look at your hair. Issei came out of his mind and walked. Being in a river he saw his face. He noticed how his brown hair began to turn white. He saw his eyes change, many external things would begin to change in him. This river and soon understood many things. And gave him some of his memories. He saw his whole life from this. Now that you know everything. You'll know that along the way, many things will be difficult. You won't be alone. I'll be by your side, I'll teach you what you need to know. Now that you know everything. We must find Elaine. I feel your presence. Her transmigrant hasn't woken her up yet. Look for her. That's all I ask. To do all this, you need to leave everything behind. Your past, your name, your identity. You know Sarah's Haidu Issei. Now you will use my name. You'll see that with time you'll understand what I myself learned in my life I stopped telling you. Issei saw how he had changed. You're right. I'm not Issei Haidu anymore. Now I am Ban, the transmigrant of Ban, the sin of greed. At that moment the moon illuminated his face. "Let's go look for Elaine and her transmigrant," said the new Issei, while a light illuminated him, letting his face be seen. "Are you ready, Ban?" said Issei. "Let's go. This path until it gets lost in the moonlight. Giving new life to Issei the Sin." The past. It had been 6 months since Issei, or now known as Ban the Fox, disappeared from the radar. Many things happened in his absence. An example would be that in the supernatural world it was discovered that Yun was one of the many leaders who escaped from the DXD group. Everything he said was a lie. He didn't kill Clifo, on the contrary. He helped him escape. After a few weeks of betraying Issei, he secretly communicated with a member of the Chaos Brigade and reported that the security was eliminated just as they planned. What I didn't expect was that someone would hear it. The leaders were quickly informed. After hearing Yun's every word, they realized they had done wrong. The girls hadn't even been informed yet. They wanted you to know from the same Yun. But the idea of catching him. Yun was told that he would be given one of the swords that the former Sekirite acquired. He was very confident. He thought he still had them in the palm of his hand. He didn't give it any importance and went for more power for when the time came. With whatever they gave him, he would destroy them. After a while he arrived. Upon entering he was greeted by all the leaders. The other members of DXD attended. But they didn't know why they were there. "Hello." Yun greets with a fake smile. Before saying why they summoned him. At that moment Azazel froze him. With what they used to seal Gabriel. "What's going on?" he said, alarmed. "What's happening?" said the DXD group. "Silence. We already know everything. Yun, or do you want us to call you Ryudo?" Upon hearing what they said. He changed his gaze to a smile. "So now you know. Ha ha ha. That's right, my name is Ryudo and I only serve the Chaos Brigade. I should thank you for helping me and giving me this great power," he said as the armor was released and activated. "When this idiot dragon found out about my plans, I managed to seal him away. Now I use him as a battery. I should thank you for killing Haidu Issei. You saved us a lot of trouble." Saying that, Rias and the others would start stuttering. "Just joking, right? I'm sorry, Rias. If we had investigated more thoroughly about this person." Issei still. Amayu didn't have the courage to say it. Rias in a fit of rage exploded in power, not just her. At that moment everyone in the room attacked Ryudo with everything. At that moment I saw him crawling on the ground while bleeding from the head. Kiba was crying. "You made me betray my friend." He started walking while summoning a dagger. He wasn't responding. He was just crawling. At that moment Kiba buried the dagger in her hands, preventing her from moving further. Kiba with a gloomy look said. "Talk at once, damn it. I kicked it and it turned over. When I looked at it, it looked like it had a lot of blood on it. This river and I look at it. What do you want to know? Right?" That with just a few words they betrayed him. They believed him to be even more of a stranger than their friend. That's what you want to know. Everyone in the room was crying. Rias and the others were angry, in pain, and sad. Rias just cried, she couldn't speak. He approached him and said. "Because you did it. It's not obvious. He was a huge obstacle for us. After they eradicated our base, we learned what his weakness was. That weakness was what finished him off. What are you taking about? Think about it. Going after what he loves most and turning it against him. If you see it that way you'll know it's true. He could have fought but he didn't. He didn't want to hurt his loved ones. We saw that opportunity. We didn't have to do anything, we left it all to you. Here, take this." He wanted to give it to you that day. He even asked me for help. How pathetic. Ryudo pulled some somewhat damaged cases out of a pocket dimension. These fell and opened up, revealing several rings. When I looked at them closely, they were engagement rings. Everyone started to cry when they saw them. "This has to be a bucking joke," said Rias, crying like never before. "Haha. If I'm going to die, I want to take this memory with me." And that he undid the seal of the boosted gear that contained the Welsh dragon. This gave him the last laughs and before saying anything, the portal opened in the room, from which a group of skeletons emerged. Behind them, a being emerged that was terrifying just by looking at it. "That's my new Mau servant." He's still crying and nodded. "Very good." Before that, Azazel managed to take Drake away. "You're okay, Wales." He did not respond. "I know you feel bad about Issei. Just hold on." He approaches Ryudo and says. "Welcome my slave." Something swallowed Ryudo. Hades walked to leave until. "Hades-sama." He stopped and said. "What do you want, Lucifer? I could see someone's soul. I don't see any problem with it, I'll do it just because you gave me a new slave." "Who is it?" "His name is Haidu Issei." "Let me see." That's strange. I have no record of this creature dying. Saying this everyone looked at him. What does Hades-sama mean? That this Haidu Issei didn't die. There's no sign that he's in purgatory or the fields of Elysium. If you'll excuse me, he leaves the room, leaving everyone surprised. Did Issei survive? They all said. There's no time for small talk. Tell everyone else that Haidu Issei is alive and that a mistake was made. Tell everyone that Haidu Issei never betrayed us. Offer rewards for anyone who can reveal their whereabouts. Everyone left there. Rias and the others approached where the rings were. Seeing them, they began to cry and think that they were stupid to doubt him. They all put the ring on their fingers and left there in search of Issei Haidu. Elsewhere. Wait, Ban. Said a blue-haired girl running after him. If you don't hurry up I'll leave you. Luo. It's always the same with you. This one just looks at the sunset and says. We need to rest. We'll camp here. She looked tired. He looks at her and says. You're the first. The first one that Ban. The first person I don't dislike. He looks at her and she notices he's not lying. She blushed and said. The first. Maybe you like me. I'll kill you, said Ban. He smiles and lies down to then sleep. Jericho looks at him and says. What happened to you to make you like this? She opts and falls asleep next to him. Plains. Ban was lying on the grass. He was dreaming. This one was living what he did 6 months ago. Ban's dream. This is boring, he said as he walked away from Kuo. Where are we going now? First we'll go to a village. I'll teach you my skills, I'll teach you my techniques. You have my physical features. It's normal that you also adapt my strength and skills. You're right. Issei left there and slowly walked away from there. For a whole month Issei learned the skills of snatching. For a while he worked as a sort of informant. He was paid a lot because on one of his jobs, he was assigned to steal a file that involved some supernatural beings. This one stole from a certain person. I deliver the files to human beings. Having the information, they paid very generously. After that he learned how to use the nunchucks. Shortly after, he went and learned everything from Ban. In the end, Issei learned everything from him in less than 2.5 months. After that, he went on a journey in search of Elaine's soul. End of the dream. He woke up and saw dawn breaking. He woke up as quickly as he could. He saw Jericho next to him. This path in search of something. A few minutes later. Jericho woke up and looked around. He noticed that Ban wasn't there and quickly became alarmed. He quickly started looking for him. You're very noisy. A voice was heard behind her. Ban said Jericho. What's happening? I thought you were gone. I just went for breakfast. But we are far from the city. Just fish something from the river. She smells and sees that he was cooking fish to one side. Come quickly. A little while later. They both went back on their way. By the way, Ban. This one looks at her. Where are we going? We've been from place to place. Where are we going? That's what I want to know. Forgotten, let's just keep going. Who knows what fate has in store for us? She smiled and happily nodded. Meanwhile elsewhere. So Ryudo did his duty. Yes, my lord. Before he was discovered, he gave us a great deal of power from the Welsh dragon. In that case, it's time to wake him up. Yes, my lord. This being gets up and goes to the window and says. Soon it will be the end of those false leaders. We will soon purify this world. Elsewhere. The servant approached and placed something in a machine. Instantly it glowed and someone began to emerge from inside. So if you woke me up it means everything is ready. Peerage and Sama. I can't feel my clone, that means my grandson eliminated it. Bring me up to date on these last 5 years that I slept. Yes, sir. A little while later. Well, that's good news. The faction that eliminated the Security doesn't sound bad. It will be seen very badly by many of them. In that case everything went as he said. Yes, sir. Tell my subordinates to come in 2 weeks. I need to get my powers back before. We will soon hunt down those guardians who guard the seal that God placed on the dragon of the apocalypse. We will soon be free from these hateful leaders. We will soon reclaim the land that was promised to us years ago. Long live the Demon King. We will soon free them too. They will be grateful to us and empower us. Tell Indra that the plan is already in motion. Soon this will be our world. This river. Now all that's missing is something to add to my collection. This one changes clothes and leaves a castle. But Ban and Jericho. He felt something. Something is wrong. This feeling is not good at all. Something's up, Ban. No, it's nothing. This carefree guy goes on his way. It's none of my business. Hey Jericho. You. Change of course, we're going to Japan. That's too far away. Don't worry, we'll go by transport while you get money. She looks at him and says. You always had money. Don't mention it. We could have slept in posadas and not in the forest. You were very noisy. Luo. If I didn't love you so much I would have already taken your eyes out. Let's go, said Ban. Both continue on their way to go back to Japan. Problems. 3 days had passed since Ban and Jericho left for Japan. During the trip, Ban slept or tried to sleep. Since Jericho was very noisy. So he politely asked the flight attendant for some liquor, and after drinking it, he fell fast asleep and was happy not to hear his companion shouting. While that was happening elsewhere, it was no exception. After a month, everyone found out that an infiltrator from the Chaos Brigade had framed the former security. When people heard that, they didn't know what to do or say. You could say it was a stir everywhere. When they were told that he didn't die from the attacks they inflicted on him, they soon demanded proof. They said that Hades did not have his soul and that he was not in the fields of Elysium either. This soon became known and all the supernatural powers were searching for him. They wouldn't know what to say until they found him. But they hadn't lost hope. The children were sad. Now they had realized that they were the villains and Op-Eye Dragon was the hero. The villains who betrayed him. This will happen soon. The Supernatural World's television stations broadcast about the former dragon. The producers who made Op-Eye Dragon re-aired the episodes that were never seen at the request of the leaders, of course. Now all that remains is to search. The DXD group joined the search. People were surprised when they saw their rings. They mentioned that soon they would find someone and their reason for wearing those rings would be revealed. It is worth noting that all factions are now looking for him. After the whole truth came out, the Yaokai faction didn't know how to respond to this. There were many mixed feelings about this news. There was rage, anger, helplessness, pain and above all regret. When Kunu knew about this, she was sad. When she found out Issei had betrayed them, she simply hated him and threw away everything that reminded her of him. Photos, gifts and other things he had given her. He knew it was late. But there was hope when they said he wasn't dead. That's when she knew that if she wanted to right her wrongs, she had to find him. Hisaka was sad when she found out that he betrayed them. She didn't have the nerve to go and confront him. The others told her to go and make him pay. She refused and simply told him that if he showed up in Kyoto, he would be killed. After learning that the boy had framed him, she knew that she and the others had made the biggest mistake of all. He soon learned that he was alive and helped the factions by sending out tracking Yaokai. But it has been in vain. It seems more like the earth swallowed him up. Many have nightmares because of what they did to them. An example would be that Odin had a dream in which everything was seen destroyed. He saw the dragon of the apocalypse at the top and also saw 10 beings massacring the entire world. He saw himself embedded by his own spear. The other leaders were also there. All the races together were massacred. Soon he saw that dream and woke up, he knew something was about to happen. So he's been preparing. It's like almost 6 months have passed in which no one knows anything. Now that they know the number of terrorists has increased, they need all the support they can get. When it became known that Drake's power had been taken away, it was unclear what purpose they had in need of a Celestial's power. But we will soon know. Michael just notified that everyone must be present. Vinpov. At the time when everyone was there. Well, almost everyone. The angels were missing. Suddenly everything went silent. Until Michael came in very seriously. Are you okay, Michael? Dono said Odin. No. This is serious. Speak now. The 5 guardians who guarded the seal that God implanted have been killed. When he said that there was panic. The guardians are supposed to be so powerful that they are above us. How could this happen? No lose. The last guardian informed me that everyone was eliminated. He said to prepare ourselves. The Chaos Brigade has managed to break the seal. Maximum 1 month for his release. Odin was frightened. His dream was beginning to come true. We must prepare for what is coming. The dragon of the apocalypse is upon us. The best thing would be to fight. Ahmed Azazel hit the table. This wouldn't have happened. If we had trusted Issei, this wouldn't have happened. Now I understand why they took power from Wales. It takes a higher power to remove that seal. This seems like karma. You reap what you sow. Someone's voice was heard. Who's there? Hello, false leaders. Rissavam, how is it that? It was just a clone. Hello, Vali, he said, seeing his terrified grandson. I just came to declare war, false Mao. The arrival. Hello, Vali, said Rissavam with a smile. Vali, seeing him alive again, was a little scared. How are you? I saw you die, I myself made sure to annihilate you. How are you alive? This Riverend said. It was a clone. Remember this, it will be very difficult for me to disappear from your life. This one notices how he caused fear in his grandson. He smiled maliciously. He looked at the other people who were in the room. Hello, false demons. He looked at the others and said. It's good to see you leaders too, with a wicked grin. Damn, they all said. This one is looking for something. Oh wow, that's strange. As far as I know, I think someone is missing. MMMM. I know, the Red Emperor Dragon is missing. Where's? Ah, see? I heard my subordinate made you betray him. Haha, how funny. Upon hearing his words, they quickly became angry. Who do you think you are? Said the Mao. Who created me? Impertinent jump. Risivum moved quickly and slammed Zerzic into the ground. Whoever created me, pathetic, tried to be Mao. Everyone sees this and tries to help, but Lucifer left and moved somewhere else. What are you looking for here? They all said. I come to declare war on you. Our troops are increasing day and night. I'm giving you the chance to surrender and join us. I'll find something for you. You're an idiot if you think we'll join you. I knew they would say that. Well. What's coming will tear them apart. This one says before leaving. When you die, if you see your ex-friend that you killed in the other world, tell him I send him my regards. Before leaving, Rias and his clan say. Issei isn't dead, he's still alive. He'll soon give you what you deserve. He is shocked and says. Well, in that case, this will be good. Goodbye Volley, he said as he left. A few moments later. Why did you say that, you laughed? The leaders said. Sorry, I thought it would help. Never mind. We'll have to fight anyway. Well, elsewhere. The plane landed in Kuo. A few minutes later. Hey Jericho. She looked at him and said, what's up? Come back home. Here. Your parents must be worried, after all I was the one who kidnapped you that night. Baka, don't say it like that, seeing how everyone can hear it. Before I go down I want you to know that I will be away for a few days. Maybe I'll go again. Jericho was hurt when he heard that. After all these months you're going to say goodbye to me. He looked at her and said. I have a past and I'll deal with it soon. I don't want you to get involved. If that's the case, I'll go with you. It doesn't matter. I won't be a burden to you. I'm powerful too. Remember, Elaine left me her abilities. I may not be as powerful as you, but I'll still be of help. Just let me stay by your side, she said sadly. This one looks the other way. It's okay. But first go to your parents. I remind you that before we met you were an Oju-sama. She is sorry about that because when she first met Ban, she thought he was a servant. But you know. It was good meeting you, said Ban without seeing her. She blushed at what he said. She didn't want to say anything. In that case she accepted. When we get down from here, leave as soon as possible. I'll look for you, understood. A few minutes later. Ban stepped on the ground next to Jericho. In doing so. Elsewhere. Two Nikos and Yaukes looked up to the other side. This smell, this aura. Issei, they said at the same time. What's up? The others said. We just felt Issei, said Kaneko and Kuroka. Just like us, said Yusaka and Kunu. Everyone was happy when they heard that. His scent changed and his aura became somewhat intense. They know where it is, said Rias, crying. This is on the outskirts of Kuo. Let's go. Everyone was crying. I'll see you soon, my Issei, they all said there. With Ban. This way, and left the place. Reunion. This way. He began to walk away from the place. Ban sighed and continued on his way. He was hungry and just wanted to taste something while he was in Japan. Since something called him there. He knew there were people there who couldn't stand it. But something caught his attention. He continued and went to the first restaurant. Finpav. The leaders and clans were in disbelief that he was in Japan. They didn't waste any more time and left to look for Issei. They wouldn't know what to say to him when they saw him. They would only talk about what Ryudo did to them, but deep down they felt bad about themselves for believing someone they just met and not someone who fought battles that weren't even his. They had to ask for forgiveness even if it was on their knees. They would do that to have his forgiveness. Upon arriving, the Nico Yaokai followed their trail. He was here. I don't know what, but Issei's essence is more different and his aura is different. What does Yusaka Dono mean? What I'm saying is that Issei. I hadn't even finished speaking when a portal opened in the sky. They looked up at the sky and saw Office come out. What is she doing here? Everyone said on guard. Office Daiho Azazel. Azazel Hola. What is a terrorist doing here? Said the Mao. There have been rumors from some people that you betrayed the drag wielder. These lowered their heads. So it's true. I guess the other thing was true too. The leaders were deceived by Risivum, who have just declared war. How is it that? They think I wouldn't notice that the seal of the biblical god has been broken. If you know that, something very big will come soon. I actually don't care in the slightest what happens in this world. Everyone looks at her in shock. What are you saying? Yes. Because I would be worried if I could go to another world. This is not the first time I've seen someone fall down the same Trihexa. Everyone is surprised. You don't care about your race, said Azazel. Why would I care? She looks at him coldly. After all, they denied help to the Drake Bearer, even Drake himself betrayed him. Because he would help save this world. Great Red agreed with me not to face Trihexa. After all, he looked at that boy and decided that he wouldn't move a claw to save anyone after what happened. Maybe you know where the boy is. Yes, said Office without emotion. Please tell us. Why would I tell you? I know it sounds silly, but we want to do something about it, said each leader in different tones and words. This kind of emotion is rare. I notice regret in you, but why? Nobody said anything. Office looked at the sky and said. There are worlds where I've seen what they call cruelty. This would be the first time I've seen repentance. It would be a shame not to see how this ends. Office opens a portal and when she looks closely. Redeed notices that place. She thinks and says. That was the world Issei and I ended up in. But why would it be there? Office took a closer look and saw a guy sitting down. Issei, they all said. Go ahead, said Office. Without hesitation, each one crossed the portal. As they entered they walked and got closer and closer to the person sitting there. As they got close enough, each girl began to cry. Being very close, they all said at once. Issei is you. This one doesn't turn at all. They were going to talk but without turning around he said. What are they doing here? By saying that, everyone confirmed that it was him. They all started to cry. Issei, yo. That name doesn't suit me anymore. He gets up, still without looking at them. Everyone rides their height, how is it that? This one turns and says. That name doesn't mean anything to me anymore. You can call me Ban, he said without any expression. Everyone was in shock. Issei, they all said surprised. He turns his gaze and sees Office. It's you, he said. Nobody knows what to do or what to say. Reunion PT2. It's you, said Ban looking at Office. Office looked at it the same way. Everyone looked at Issei in shock. Did he die and Great Red gave him a body again and that's why he changed? They would talk but Ban wouldn't let them. Issei us. There's no need to say anything. I really don't want to listen to anyone in a bored tone. Girls. We want to tell you that. I know everything. After you made a hole in my chest and I began to agonize, Yun approached me and whispered that now the Chaos Brigade would begin their plans. Rias felt a pain in her chest when she heard about him attacking her. I'm sorry. No need to apologize, none of that matters to me anymore. He started to walk away, but was stopped by the girls who grabbed him by the coat. I look at this one. They all had a look full of sadness and pain. Please listen to us. Issei broke free from her grip and said. Did you all hear what I meant at that moment when everyone judged me without any proof? Everyone would look down. The girls would remain silent. I thought so, he said, walking to the side of everyone. They turned around to look. But there was no one there anymore. They all quickly broke down and started crying. Office saw this and without doing or saying anything opened a portal and took everyone out of there, sending them back to Earth. And then left that place and arrived at some mountains. He left his things and lay down while closing his eyes. End of POV. Elsewhere. Jericho had arrived home. The moment she hit the ground she was surrounded by too many bodyguards. Oju-sama. She was surprised. The guard says. Okay, boy. She doesn't know what to say. It seems like he's in shock. Let's take her to the hospital. I'm sure she went through a lot of traumatic things after being kidnapped. While they think about what they did to him. Oh no, Oju-sama was desecrated. Enough, said Jericho. Nothing like what you think happened to me. I just went on a trip. But his parents were very worried. Don't worry, I'll go see you later. But first you need to take a bath, said a maid who arrived with others. One of them takes his arm. Tia makes Jericho gesture. Then she is taken to what looked like a castle. End of POV. With the leaders. Everyone was weird after that moment when Issei appeared. The mother and daughter Yaokase were sad. Ria's entourage arrived so sad that the best thing to do was put them to sleep. A lot has just happened and they need answers. But there wasn't much time. Since in a few days he'll be walking on 666 among them and they need a lot of help to take him and the Chaos Brigade down. They needed all the help they could get or else. As Offa said, another world would perish. Ova. Ban meets Jericho PT1. After being trained by Ban, Issei disappeared to go in search of Elaine's soul transmigrant. During the journey Issei spoke with Ban in his mind about various topics. Elsewhere. Oju-sama. What's up, watching her servant call her. Her parents have returned from their trip and want to see her. She was happy and went to greet her parents. A while later. But thus said Jericho excitedly. In a week the Nomura family will be coming. It's common for engaged families to come to the bride's house and get to know each other. No. I'm not getting married. Your father and I decided it. For the sake of two families of a great name preserving their lineage. You will become beautiful for the Nomura heir. TSK. No joking, young lady, as she leaves the room. But I don't want to marry that boy who is very conceited. Then don't do it, he heard a voice in his mind. Jericho came out exalted with fear. Who's there? You're funny, said that voice. Elsewhere. Did you feel that ban? If it seems that it has already begun to wake up. We should go. This is boring. Traveling around Japan on foot again, that's boring. Don't worry, along the way I'll tell you a story about where I come from. Sounds interesting, I'm listening, said Ban Issei. Well, it all started when I traveled around the world in search of the best liquor ever produced. 5 days later. It's a pleasure to see you again. Greetings from the Nomura family. His son and heir saw Jericho with eyes full of lust and arrogance. He was Yamato Nomura. Age 18. Arrogant. Presumed. He sees women as a piece of meat. He thinks that because he has a lot of money, everyone is below him. He is only interested in himself. Vinpov. Jericho felt intimidated by him. Remember that as children he used to bully her and put her down. But this feeling scared him. Hello, Jiri-chan, Yamato said, leaning close to her ear and whispering. I've been waiting to see you again. When you become my wife, I'll do many things with you. This one separated and Jericho felt disgusted. Splendid, it's good to see you two getting along, said Yamato's mother. It seems that it will not be necessary for them to live together. Or don't worry, father, it would be good for her and me if we lived together much more, don't you think, in a happy tone, that it was totally false. She said nothing just under his gaze. In that case we will be there for a few days, and in 2 we will have an engagement party, said the father. Splendid, said Jericho's mother. Tokyo. I told you it wouldn't be long. We'll arrive tomorrow, but I'm really sleepy and I just want to go get something to drink, he said without much importance. Sounds perfect. This path to a bar where he was well regarded by women and frowned upon by men. I will not return. After that moment when he reunited with his former companions and ex-loves, he only came to a common place to rest. It's still too early to know what will happen. He slept simply, it seems that having a lot of contact with Ban made him change many aspects of himself. Meanwhile with Jericho. She arrived and was quickly taken by the maids to change. After a while she arrived at the living room where her parents were. To be honest, she stopped loving them when they tried to get involved with a conceited and boorish man. After leaving with Ban, her way of thinking changed over time when she was by his side. Being a transmigrant from Elaine gave her abilities as a fairy as well as age delay. When she arrived at the room they were waiting for her there. What was heard from there was a slap from his father. Do you think it's funny to leave and turn your back on your family? You made us and the Nomura family look ridiculous by leaving. Jericho felt that slap, turned his indifferent face towards his parents and said. And you think I care about that? I would have preferred to die than to be with Yamato. What did you say? Said his mother. Mother, he is not who he says he is, it's just a mask behind his true personality. No, that boy is gentlemanly and attentive. PFFF, it seems you're blind, mother. Since we were children, Yamato used to bother me and belittle me. Those times when he said that I was bothered and hit were false, he did it to look good in front of everyone. It offends me that my fiancé speaks to me like that, said a voice coming from the shadows. You, Jericho said, glaring at him furiously. The last time she saw him was when he used violence against her. He wanted to grape her. If Ban hadn't disguised himself as a waiter and taken me, I don't know what would have happened that day. Just thinking about it makes her want to slit his throat. What are you doing here? He said coldly. We call him, said his parents. What, he said in shock. Because my fiancé lies about me, he said with a fake smile, when you are mine, I will have to train you properly, in a lustful tone. Jericho read her mind and was disgusted, she would never be with someone like him. Why did they call him? He's your fiancé, her parents said. I won't marry him. If you don't, you leave this house and forget you have parents. They both thought she would accept, but what they heard was the opposite of what they expected. I don't care, I had a great time without you for 6 months, do you think that would affect me? Both were in shock. So if that's the case, leave the house with what you're wearing, said his father. I don't need these clothes, they make me look weak, I'll leave with whatever clothes I get. He turns around and starts walking. I'll go talk to her, I'll make her understand that she's wrong, said Yamato smiling. You are very kind, said both parents. He starts following her. Soon you'll know who's the master and who's the slave, he said in an arrogant tone. Today you're not escaping from me. Jericho arrived at her room and saw the clothes she came in, she saw them and understood that the maids cleaned her. She smiled and began to take off her clothes. Wow, you want to do it now, right? Yamato, why are you here, he said, covering himself. Because, I only see the future mother of my children as very provocative. He closes the door and walks towards her. If you take one more step, I won't be responsible for what happens to you. Don't hold back and do it. Wow. You're very arrogant, huh? You will know who the master is, my dear Jericho, he said, unbuttoning his shirt. Jericho saw him coming towards her with that superior smile. He sighed and raised his hand, and Yamato began to levitate. Kia. I told you, but you didn't want to listen to me. She lifted him up so hard that he hit the ceiling. After that she lifted him up again and again, hurting him to the point where his face looked pathetic, judging by the look on his face. Please leave me and I won't do anything to you, he begged. That's a lie, you'll come back here again and again for revenge, I read your mind. You're more fake. So prepare to suffer. I've been waiting for this for years. No, please stop. A little while later. Jericho arrived at the living room where his parents were waiting. You've already reconsidered and you're going to get married. No, I just came to tell you that I'm leaving and we'll probably never see each other again. And Yamato? When I leave, see this, you will understand many things. Goodbye father, goodbye mother, it was a pleasure to have spent these years together. She left the room and was soon carried away by the wind. Elsewhere. This is where I feel his aura, said to Nekomata. I just want you to listen to what I have to tell you, I said, Ariti next to a group at her side. There it is, they both pointed out, crying. They saw him asleep and soon their tears fell to the ground. Ice, they said, many there. I don't think I'll come back. Jericho left the large house she'd once grown up in and lived in, where she'd been called Oju-sama. But after Ban kidnapped her way of thinking changed. Spending several months at his side transformed her attitude from that of a rich girl to one that was docile and compassionate. She smiled and said. Now I just have to find Ban. Where could he have gone? There, you look for something. Oh damn, I forgot that when the maids changed my clothes, they also took it off. Where is? Then he looks in his pocket and sees it. Or at least. If I lost it, he'd kill me. Or maybe not. After all, Ban gave it to me before we parted ways. Well, he puts on a necklace. Where would Ban be? He told me that in 2 days we would meet there. What should I do for now? Or I already know, and she leaves somewhere else. I said, Rias, crying when she saw Issei. Who was asleep as if nothing had happened. When they saw him, they all felt a shock of emotion. Unable to contain their tears at seeing him alive again was something they couldn't explain. Issei-san, Sama, Kun, Sama were many calls that said to a sleeping Issei. Rias came closer to see him closely while her tears came out. Without realizing it, her tears fell on his forehead. Ban instinctively opened his eyes and turned back as he stood up in a pirouette. This alarmed the girls as they didn't want to wake him up. This one looked at them. It's you. I've made things very clear, I'm not going back. It would be best if they left. They didn't say anything until. Rias held her hand to her chest under Ban's gaze. He looked closely and noticed that both Rias and the others were wearing certain rings. This one turns to the other side. This was what you wanted to give us, Issei, said Rias while showing said ring on her finger. That doesn't matter anymore, yes, laughs, he said disinterestedly, looking elsewhere. I'm sorry for everything. I know an apology isn't enough. I just ask you to listen for a minute. I told you at the time. There's nothing left to talk about. Forget that you once existed, walk again. We love you, Issei, just listen please. If they really loved me, why did they attack me without any proof, and why did they say those cruel things that night? Us. They preferred to believe a person who came from nowhere, rather than me, who would have given everything to see them happy. Us. Enough is enough. You're just falling into a loop that will never end. Just forget about me. Besides, I'm not the same anymore. I've changed and. Don't say it, they all said, crying. And my feelings for you are dead. They all started to cry. Don't look for me anymore. I won't hesitate to attack next time. This was just a warning. And tell your leaders that I will not participate in their coming war, he said, leaving there. The girls were left there crying. What will happen to Jericho as he disappeared into thin air? There are no heroes. What am I doing here? Ban said. Long live Op-Eye Dragon, I hear many voices. He said this one as he woke up. Well. Issei said, a voice that the fox didn't like at all. I looked closely and noticed that I was in the supernatural world. We're sorry for the inconvenience of bringing you here, but we just wanted to let you know that people believe in you just like we do. He saw and noticed children and adults wearing shirts of his old appearance and a logo that said Op-Eye Dragon. This made him quite angry. We know everyone here made a mistake, but we want another chance. I know it won't be easy, but we really want to go back to how things were before, the Mau said. He began to remember how he got there. Flashback. After Ban left the Gremories like that. He set out for a walk. This one was still sleepy and hungry. So he went back to the restaurant where he became friends with the manager after making him look good in front of many important people. Flashback within the flashback. After Ban returned to Japan, Kuo City was hungry, so he went to a restaurant. When he entered, he wasn't welcomed because it was reserved. He noticed a very horrible smell in the kitchen and went in even if they didn't let him. Upon entering, he saw the chef crying because he had ruined the meal that was meant for certain powerful people in the culinary arts. This one came in and said, "I smelled something horrible from outside." He saw it and ran away because he was fired by the manager. Seeing that his restaurant was going to be closed because of the chef, he took off his hat and started to leave. He stopped when he saw Ban take out a knife and start working his magic in the kitchen. "What are you doing? Don't you see, I'll fix that boy's mistake." "Why do you do that?" If I want free food I have to earn it." Bring that," Ban ordered the manager. This one puts on an apron and helps. "Today I will be the manager and you will be my assistant." And as if by magic, Ban re-prepared the dish. The manager tried it and it made his taste buds jump with excitement. "Are you a chef or something?" Let's just say I learned from the best while thinking about the real Ban. He notices those people have already arrived. Or I don't have any staff to serve them. Well, the chef left with the helpers. "Let me help you," and Ban puts on a vest and a shirt. "You go receive them and I'll take care of the rest." Hi. A few hours later. "I don't know how you did that, but thanks to you I got this." As he pulls out his laptop and looks at the restaurant's review tray. Criticism. "I am the world's #1 critic. Arena Nakiri. Today I visited an ordinary restaurant. But the best part was when the young chef delivered my order. I must say that when I saw that person, I tried to resist the urge to kiss him. He was so beautiful. His face looked like it was sculpted by Da Vinci himself. The best comes later. After tasting his food, I was stunned. The ecstasy I felt when I tasted it made me feel like I was in heaven. Without a doubt, that young chef did what others didn't. And that's because I have respect for that guy." "Is it serious?" Ban interrupted. "Keep reading. If you visit this restaurant you will take home the best food. I have to admit that at first I wanted to delete this place, but upon discovering it, I only felt the desire to keep trying their food. Without a doubt, I, Nakiri Arena, give this place my approval." I finished showing the manager. "That was good," said Ban, eating everything he wanted. "Thanks to you, that criticism was worldwide, you know what it means. You don't let me eat comfortably. Now people know about this place, which means this place will be famous. If anything, pass me the sauce." Then flashback within the flashback. He saw the place he helped. He was already bigger. When he walked in, something made him a little embarrassed because he saw his face there and said, "The best chef in the world." He walked in, embarrassed. In doing so, the now owner of that great restaurant welcomed him. Ban went straight to him wanting to hug him. He put his hand out and prevented that. "This place changed. That's thanks to you. Without you, I'd be homeless today." "Okay," he said, bored. This applause and several waiters went to him to take him to his table. "Owner?" "The usual." "Yeah. As you command." At that moment, a waiter saw him and quickly notified a certain supernatural person. A little while later. "Here you are, sir," said the suspicious waiter, serving him wine. "Thank you," said Ban as he prepared to eat. A little while later. This guy left the place. The owner was happy because before he left him several new tips. About crab, among other dishes. As he was walking, he felt his vision blurred to the point where he fell unconscious. "It's ready, sir." "Bring it here," a man ordered. As ordered by Mao Lucifer-sama. End of flashback. He remembers and gets angry. He was brought here against his will, and to top it all off, the people he fought for are now cheering him on. People can't be more hypocritical. The Mao extended his hand towards him. And exploded and without further ado did the following. This one hit the Mao's face, under the eyes of the world who saw that. "How dare you," said Ban, seeing the Mao in the sky. "Do you think this will solve everything that happened? Do you think that by wanting to buy me everything will be solved? I never needed any of this. People cheering me on are power. I was always happy with what I had. I didn't need money or fame to be happy. They really think that by doing this they will bring him back." While he looks at people seriously. "We don't think that. They didn't think I would say yes and everyone would be happy. No. Do you think showing me hypocritical people who betrayed me by praising me will bring me back? Us?" "Shut up," he said seriously. "Seriously, everyone is sorry. And you think I care about that? To tell you the truth, I don't care if they live or die." He said this walking in another direction. "Up-eye dragon, no way, go away," said a child. Seeing him reminded Ban of that boy who praised him in his fight against the Baal. The boy he saw first throw his stuffed animal and other things away from him. Jump said. They look at him indifferently. You're my hero, please stay, while showing him an op-eye dragon plushie. Ban takes it under everyone's gaze, thinking he's convinced him. But not everything is rosy. Ban destroyed the stuffed animal and said coldly. Heroes don't exist, you have to grow up and stop thinking they'll save you. Ban walked and a portal opened. This path led to him and he left. Breaking the spirit of all the children. Especially that boy's. Ban vs Ererg. Op-eye dragon, no way, go away, said a child. Seeing him reminded Ban of that boy who praised him in his fight against the Bale. The boy he saw first throw his stuffed animal and other things away from him. Jump said. Ban, seeing him indifferent. You're my hero, please stay, while showing him an op-eye dragon plushie. Ban takes it under everyone's gaze, thinking he has won it over with his tenderness. But not everything is rosy, and that was proven by what he would do. Ban looked at the stuffed animal, and it reminded him of his days when he was happy, but then he remembered all the bad things that had happened to him and more, when he sacrificed his dignity just to see people happy and never lose hope in heroes. He looked at the boy and remembered that he was the first to break his stuffed animal, as if it were nothing. He didn't care that his hero had died to save them all, he didn't even give him the benefit of the doubt. This angered him, and he stopped looking at the stuffed animal. The boy looked at him with a smile. This reflection was the complete opposite of a smile, and he simply destroyed the stuffed animal in front of him and said cruelly. Heroes don't exist, you must grow up and stop thinking that they will save you. He threw the stuffed animal to the ground under the gaze of the child, who began to cry. Ban walked to the side of it as if nothing had happened, and from there a portal opened. As he was about to enter the portal, a hand grabbed him by the shoulder. He looked back and saw a fist flying into his face, sending him flying against the wall. Hag. He spat blood from his mouth. He said, I keep thinking that I don't like pain. He stood there staring at Ria's cousin, who was comforting the child. Ban went down from the ground and walked the other way. Hey too. He shook his head and looked at him with a serious face. What do you want? He said as if nothing had happened. Why were you so cruel to that child? He didn't deserve this. This is boring, said Ban, holding his neck. Hey, I'm talking to you. That doesn't matter, it's over anyway. No way, you'll come here and apologize to all the kids you were cruel to. And if I refuse? I'll have to teach you some manners. You're annoying. But the truth is, I don't want to kill you right now. I won't let you do it, and you no longer have the powers of the Welsh dragon. I don't need the powers of that cheap dragon, he said normally. And how would you fight without your armor? He didn't need that to beat you. I want to see that, he said, running at great speed to hit him in the stomach. This one bowed to the pain. Sarah grabbed him by the hair and hit him in the face multiple times. That will be enough for you. This one looked like Ban was like nothing happened. You said something. He was surprised. I swear he attacked him many times and it looks like nothing happened. If you're done warming up, I think it's my turn. What? He didn't see him move and he had him by the face while he slammed him against the ground. Everyone was surprised when he moved, not even the fastest of them could keep up with him. If you keep bothering me, I'll go to your house and finish the work I can't do because of your mother's illness, do you understand? Just by saying that, Sarah exploded in anger and quickly called the lion and was wrapped in his golden armor, and with all the power gathered in his fist, he headed towards Ban's chest. The smile. After a second, everyone saw how it had passed through Ban's body. Sarah was overcome with rage. When he thought about it, his fist had pierced through the man's body. He got very upset and started saying. I didn't mean to, sorry Issei. The Gremory screamed in terror. Wanting to go towards him, but were stopped by the Mao. Why are you stopping us? He pierced her heart, she won't be able to resist. By the time they bring the tear, it will be too late. They began to cry without knowing that he would soon regenerate. He said with a loud voice. Bring a phoenix tear. Issei looked at him normally. Sarah pulled his fist out of this one's chest. In doing so, Ban spat out blood. Then fell to the ground. Sarah approached this one. You'll be fine now, just hang in there. Of almost all the people who didn't betray me, I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd understand why I became like this. Don't talk. He looked at this one and said. I thought you weren't like them, but I was wrong. I thought about giving this world of the apocalyptic dragon's destruction a chance, but I see I was wrong. What are you taking about? That this world condemned itself. At that he looks in shock as his wound begins to close. As he did so, he stood up and looked at everyone who was in shock at what they saw. Your wound, how is it? You can't kill an immortal, he said seriously. I think it's time for me to go. I hope you survive what's coming in 3 days. Saying this, everyone was shaken by a power that came from a certain seal. Goodbye everyone. Saying that, Ban disappeared. Elsewhere. That idiot Ban said we'd meet here, but he doesn't show up. That fool. He heard a voice behind her. I didn't say that, Ban. This one looks like she's not wearing any top and just says, "Are you okay?" While her nose is bleeding. I should say that, said Ban as a trench coat appears out of nowhere. We're going. Where to? You don't ask, just follow me. Do. The Trihexa and the commandments arise. A few hours had passed since the former security had sent everyone to hell. People's relationships were not long in coming. There was panic everywhere. Vinpov. Asgard. Odin was on his throne, his dream was 3 days away from coming true, and there wasn't even a single warrior left to face this threat. It doesn't matter if you run away or not. They will destroy everything, even the smallest corner, everything would be destroyed. That is a sin that they themselves caused because of their stupidity in betraying Issei, stealing his power, and giving it to a survivor of the Chaos Brigade who opted and stole everything from Drake, and because of that the seals that kept 666 captive with that power were already released. If they had never done that, their people wouldn't be going through this. Seeing through the whole supernatural world chaos. Odin simply shed tears of helplessness, knowing that his people could perish because of all of them who simply killed Issei. I regret everything. I just hope that if there is a life after this, I don't want to make the same mistake again. Vinpov. Unknown location. Ursavam Sama, preparations are already underway. It's funny. Now that the former Welsh dragon bearer has turned his back on the factions, our plans for conquest will be easy. They don't believe it. It doesn't matter, we'll soon regain our power. All we need are a few souls. Don't worry, we brought too many humans. Dilettantes. The group approaches and begins to draw out their souls. For now, we must wait. The world we don't know will be easy to destroy. You don't believe it, brother. The white-haired man opens his eyes and looks at everyone without interest. We'll all wait for our power to return. We've been locked away for centuries. We will soon destroy the world and go after the traitor of. He must pay for betraying us. Ursavam didn't understand what they were talking about, but he would do whatever was necessary to have power. He left while hearing screams of fear from the humans. Soon I will be the king. Hahaha. This is chaos, not even a day has passed, and chaos is everywhere. Damn. If we had the help of the 2 dragon gods we would make a difference. This is wrong. We can't go on like this. The Mayu called a soldier and ordered all his soldiers to gather. What are you doing, Mayu, said Azazel. I will fight for my world. They stand up and go to organize their soldiers. This wouldn't have happened if we had believed in Issei, said the Gremory group from afar. Please forgive me, I said, Rias crying. Elsewhere. Where are we going, Ban? You're so annoying. You've been asking that for a while. You just don't say anything. We arrived. These look at a big hole. Ban comes closer and says. So this was the power anomaly I felt since I arrived. What are you talking about, Ban? Whatever came out of here only means it's going to be something dangerous. Ban looks at the sky and feels something. The beast has already emerged from its prison, seeing the red sky. What's going on, Ban? Jericho said, scared. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.